Fari Hamzei of Hamzei Analytics. He joins us every
Cap.
Wednesday.
You're all over the phone. You're holy cow. It's like a half of a ring there, Far. You're ready.
We're fueled and armed. We're ready to go.
What are you fueled and armed, and what are you looking at here right now?
We haven't got our flight plan yet. It's coming in from National National Military Authority. Yeah.
Well,
We should get it shortly, but we've been looking at a few items. Let me give you some clues, okay?
Okay.
Can't exactly break the seal yet. Yeah, we're not ready yet. Hold on. Here, what we're looking at. We look at some oil stuff. We're looking at a couple of technology. And we actually also, yesterday, we got into coffee. We got into Starbucks.
Talk about oil here for a second. Goldman came out with some comments there last night, and Goldman has been bearish oil, saying it's potentially going down to $40 a barrel here. But this morning, or I guess it was last night, they were actually they were saying they're still bearish oil here, and they still think it's going down, but they thought that they were too bearish before. So they're saying they're basically not as bearish as they were before. So, and we've seen oil.
Speaking on both sides of their mouth was invented for people like Goldman and Morgan Stanley. And Morgan Stanley, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking them by tribe. I'm taking them by function. Remember, these are wirehouse bulls, okay? They make their money with higher activity on the upside. But you got to realize charts don't lie. Over the weekend, let me tell you about my change of heart. Slightly, okay? And I'm going to come up with the limits to it, so you know what I'm looking at. If you look at the May contract or June contract of crude, it becomes clear. We had a very low reading in, I don't have it in front of me, I'm just going by my thing, what I recall. Low January was put in, and then very, very late January, we had a low. We came back up, went to around 52, 53 area, maybe 50, possibly 55. I don't know if we hit 55. Then we rolled down, made a lower low, okay? Lower low, slightly, by a small amount, in mid-March. Now, if you draw any momentum indicator of your choice, RSI, MACD, whatever you like, doesn't have to be anything sophisticated, you'll see that there's a bullish divergence there. So there's a case here to be made of possibly oil rising here somewhat, but no more than the next two targets. The first target is the 55, the high between late January and early part of March. That's one tie. The one before that is right after Thanksgiving area, which is 60. Okay, so I would be cautious for a run up of oil between and this may be the new range, the 40s, okay, very low 40s, okay, up to 60. That's maybe what we're going to see first before the dust settles. I just don't see us going above 60, that's for sure. I still like to see 33, which is this low 33. Put in on the that's a chart that was put in December 08 or maybe January 09.
Holy cow. So you're saying short term, you're saying you're slightly bullish here, but long term, you still think we're going lower.
Well, if the technical agreement with Iran is signed, I think we're going to see 33.
Wow.
So remember, what this was signed last week was political. That's got a lot of loose ends. The issue is the technical agreement. I don't think we're going to get it in June per se. Because if Iran Iran is like, you go to Iran, you deal with them, you're in a bazaar, you are, buying some rugs with them. That's what's happening, okay? They go back and forth, they have more tea, let's give it a couple of weeks of vacation. Let's talk again. It just goes back and forth, back and forth. That's why this first part took so long. I think it's naive for Foggy Bottom and White House to think that we're going to have a technical deal done in 3 months. But it'll probably be done maybe in the next 6 months, somewhere in there. When that hits the road in its entirety, in full detail, I think you're going to see the oil capitulate and go down.
Fari, I want to talk to you about that move on Friday in the S&P futures while the market was closed there. I don't know if you were up.
We made a few shekels. I was a little bit behind. I just had to show up for the Shabbat dinner with more better PNL, and Auntie Janet was with me. That number came down so hard, and honestly, Joe, I left some money on the table. I didn't think it was going to go 39.
Yeah.
I just sat there. The last 5 or 6 handles, it was beyond me. A couple of handles you get out before it gets there. Learn from an old player from Boston that said, "Don't be greedy. Don't take all the money yourself. If you want to get filled, leave some money for somebody else. If you go near your target and get out. Don't wait to get the last penny out. This way you get filled and you're out. So you don't get embarrassed or surprised." Well, we did that, but then I sit back and I said, "What?" And we went down 10 points after my target. So as I said, the last 4, 5, 6 handles, it was beyond me. And you saw also Sunday night how fast we came back up. Those are the 5, 6 handles that immediately market came back up Sunday night.
Okay, so that.
No, do you have a particular question about?
No, I mean, you just think it was just people trying to get some hedges on, or just the big boys moving it around to their favor. I mean, because if you look at it, you look at the fundamentals. If you have a weak jobs number, then that you think that would lead to that they're not going to raise interest rates, and if they're not going to raise interest rates, that's supposedly supposed to be good for the market. So,
as I said, this is only in America. What's bad news for Main Street is good news for Wall Street. Now, to answer your question analytically, I just opened my OTF chart for ES. This is other time frame. This is for the big guys to see what kind of breadcrumbs they left for us on the Friday morning, early Friday morning. It was almost none. The activity was very low. As a matter of fact, we didn't have. The last minute, 8:14, okay, for 8:14:16 Chicago time to 8:15, which is about 44 seconds.
Yep.
We had a spike in volume. Aside from that, it was a dribble. I mean, it was very little activity. The direction was, hey, sellers are pushing, but the size of the volumes are minimal. There was nobody there.
Okay.
I presume most big players were off anyway. I mean, anybody I know in Chicago, they're with Florida, with the kids.
All right, Fari, I want to talk to you, and I know I was giving you a hard time a little bit. You said you were looking for a little bit of lower move in Tesla, and you were going to get in, and it never gave you the lower move, and now it's moving on some fundamentals here. Did you miss out on it, or did
course.
you? Yeah, you did.
Murray, I missed. And guess what? Don't forget me. Murray's upset because he thought he was getting so excited, because he likes things cheaper. Okay, he doesn't understand the concept. If something is cheap, it may get cheaper. Okay, he doesn't get that yet. We're working on him. We're working with him on that. But now he's absolutely upset. That and also the market. The market run up on Monday. Oh my God! This guy just kept on texting me. I told him, "Get off the text. I'm busy." And he says, "Why is this thing going up?" I said, "Listen, either you get in and play, get into a party and start drinking from the punch bowl, or sit back and be quiet." Speaking of Tesla, personally, when it crossed the 0 sig, which was 2 days ago, let's see, is that it was Monday morning. I was not happy. Went to 3 sigma, pulled back, but now it's on my radar. We probably will do something. But we have to take a look at also the the earning date. So, but they did basically they pre-announced a record number. So, a very good report. I've got to dig in, but that's on my list. As I said, we're going to some oil. We're going to S-Box. We have another oil we want to get in today, and then Tesla is after that. But you stole the show from me. I was going to announce that to the room later on today, but Tesla is on the list. Yeah. I would probably play it with call spread. I would want to see something in the range of maybe. I have to find a good one because of what we're paying for is crucial for me. A lot of times you make your profit going in, so to speak. I'm old school, but I'd say 200 to 220 call spread. That range I would play it. The high is. I'm sorry, 200 bars, 228.15. I'm not sure we'll get there yet. Notice that from the announcement they made, we didn't go too far up. We did hit 3 sigma, pull back. So, We'll see.
Want to get your thoughts on the Twitter move there yesterday. We finally got a breakout day here. We're getting some follow through again here this morning. Stock trading up another 75 cents in the pre-market. It's up here at 53.60 right now. Heavy volume here already, 294,000 shares.
Yeah.
This Twitter chart, what's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Reg FT, we're in. We discussed that before.
You're in.
We're in. We've been in. We've been in a couple of weeks now. So it's doing fine. We'll add. Let's see. Was it? It's been a couple of weeks. My piano page is not up yet, but hold on. We are very happy with it. I'm sorry, you were saying?
What's your price target on this? You're in, so I know you usually have a price target when you're getting into something. What's your target on this?
I'll tell you from my screenshot, so we know what we told everybody else. Hold on 1 second. This is Twitter. We came in on 24th of March. Target is 57.
57.
Yeah, when we came in was 50.66. It was 11:32 a.m. Chicago time.
Are you okay? So 57. Tell us how you're approaching this then. Just for the next, do you look at this? And I just want to know, when you have your price target of 57, and
right, and also earnings is 429. So April 29 is after the market is earnings. So we're watching. We have to make some decisions. You don't want to necessarily have a good run, okay, and sit through the earnings and give it back possibly.
Yeah.
You never know. This thing, yeah. So you got to make some decisions saying, okay, what am I going to do pre-earning? Am I going to run through the earning, or am I going to jump it after the earning? So it's a three-pronged question in your mind, because what we try to do is not what you make is what you keep, right? So you got to take a look at, and this thing has got an MIV of 48, at least at that time. I bet you MIV is risen up a little bit higher right now. Of course, I don't have any bid ask here because of 7:47 a.m. But I'd say that's a couple of notches higher. The problem is going to come in around 61 per weekly chart. If you step back, look at the weekly chart at 61. We're beginning to hit 2 sigma. I'm sorry, 3 sigma. 3 sigma plus. That's pretty heavy. Okay, so somewhere between now, if it gets ahead of me, okay, post 57, I have to make decisions. I'm before 61. Okay, if it runs ahead of me right now, it's doing what 53.5. Okay,
53.60.
It's up 1.42 overnight, right?
Yep.
Hallelujah. Well, now, by the way, Waco is in this. Murray is in this big time. So.
Are there too many people on this? There's a lot of people have been giving this some love. That's another question too. Is this getting crowded? Because I'm hearing a lot. Everybody hated this stock in the 30s.
Yes.
Everybody absolutely hated it in the 30s, and everybody seems to love it in the 50s. And when the crowd gets on one side,
part of the problem is the spoofs. Part of the problem is your partner in crime. He wrote an article on Benzinga. That's why I got it. As a matter of fact, I just read it in my notes going out that said, there's no news on the company. It was featured on Benzinga by spoofs. That was my logic. That's my thesis going in.
Right.
The part of the problem is your buddy.
That's Joel's Twitter handle.
Tell him to keep it quiet. He just has to put it on Benzinga so the whole world reads it. Holy mackerel.
Fari, we're getting. Just want to take a look at Apple. We got a downgrade here. Price change down to 130. Boy, this stock has just been sleepy here. Are you just are you staying away from it, or what do you think?
No, we're in it and we're getting killed. I mean, not happy about it at all. But I do have faith in Apple. Again, the management is awesome. Balance sheet is excellent. Those are the key items that will prevail over massive downdraft and what have you. The problem with option is that you got expiration. So we may just roll it out. We've been down a bit, probably about 15% or so on the option premiums, on the call spread we have. We'll probably roll it out before it's too late. I believe there are 8 pulls. Yes, they are. So this week, I will roll them out. I wouldn't wait much longer. Expiration is next week, yeah. So you don't want to sit there past Friday, because by Monday, your theta is going to eat you alive. Now, earnings on Apple is, hold on. Apple, we went on in February, yeah. Apple is 423 after the market. So 23rd of April, they will report after the market. MIV is only 27. Beta is 1.06. This is what we put on our sheets going out, okay? So people know what they're getting into before they pull the trigger. It's just kind of a boxes you have to fill in. And so you've seen them. So looking at it, it's not a big problem, right? But the problem is right now is theta. Theta is beginning to creep in, a negative theta, and get to us. We're at 126. We're down 32 cents. I'm sorry, we closed 126, down 32 cents, trading 129.69. I had hoped by now we would be in 135 area, and we're not. Okay, 134 plus area chart-wise, we're not. So we're in a hole. We got to dig ourselves up. Most likely would be another rollover another month. Now, here's the problem: timing. Overall macro market timing. So far, they're buying the dips again, and chart-wise, we got divergences all over the place. So one of these days, the divergences are going to work, and when it does, it's going to be nasty to the downside. Of course, these are bearish divergences. So Apple being a big part of NAS, and NDX, this puts additional pressure on you to not sit there and procrastinate, but rather be proactive, make a decision and live with the results.
Stock coming out of the chat here, Fari. Rob Hood wants to ask your thoughts on Dunkin' Donuts, DNKN. First of all, do you drink coffee at Dunkin' Donuts? And secondly, what do you think of the stock?
First of all, you have to shoot me first. Well, what's the symbol again?
DNKN.
You what?
DNKN.
DNKN. Okay, gotcha. Okay. No, I don't. I'm a Starbucks, and family has been a shareholder, so it's on my phone, and that's simple. As a matter of fact, when I go to Whole Paycheck, I don't buy coffee there. I only get a baguette, walk over to Starbucks, and get a latte. But no, Dunkin', what do you call it? Who likes Dunkin'? What do you call it? The chief over at Stocks and Jocks when Spruce goes over there for interviews. And I do. I go there tomorrow. They like Dunkin'. It's flat. The weekly is dead. Why would you want to be involved in this? Unless you want to sell some volatility. This thing is, I don't know. If you look at the monthly, we have two, almost like railroads back in, railroad bars, back in December and January. But aside from that, we haven't done anything since, I would say, Halloween. This is a dead horse.
Okay, and why do you like the Starbucks?
All-time high. The menu is good. Boulangerie is a great pastry shop. I'm from LA, right? I like the company. They're responsible environmentally. I like their packaging taste. They change packaging often. Howard is a great guy as a CEO. Family has been a shareholder from like 95, 96 era, 97 era. So, we haven't pulled out. So,
stock split coming up there too for you.
I'm sorry, what is coming up?
Stock split coming up in Starbucks too. 2-for-1 split.
Yeah. That's good. No, that's good. Usually that's a good one. Actually, those are the good ones you want to get into an option-wise, right? Because the moment the split hits, right, you want to pre-own the options, okay? That's the whole strategy in 98, 99. There was actually a lot of advisory services made millions playing that. As the stock split is announced, you jump in the option and you hold. The stock split comes, the stock is cheaper. A lot of people come in. You get double the options, and then it takes off.
We've been on.
As long as you don't get a market issue, as long as the market sentiment doesn't change, it's almost a assured profit. Why do you think we're in it, Murray?
We've been on the line with Fari Hamzei. He's the founder of Hamzei Analytics. He joins us every Wednesday, bringing his wealth of knowledge on aggressive equity options and futures trading. Thanks a lot, Fari. Great input as usual. We'll talk to you again next week.
Always a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thanks,
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.